I don't sing about trucks and fucking consoles or solo cups and like, I sing about things that I think are real and honest and things that move people and hit people in the heart.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
One more trip around the sun. What else do we say?
Jake, thank you so much for your time. I know this is a hectic time, so you've got a cool show tomorrow as well. You're in between a bunch of stuff, and the final days before the album is coming have started. So let's dig in straight away. In one of the singles that you shared, the Not Today single, you proclaim it's a whole new me, and that is a perfect metaphor maybe, or a perfect statement for this whole record. This is something different on many different levels, from a music perspective, from influences that we hear, but also from a story wise. And maybe we should start there, because this is a concept album, and you've shared that in previous albums you've thought of concepts but not followed through with them necessarily, like the last album. What changed? What made you want to tell a story start to finish this time?
I have done it. I did it on one of my albums. I had Shadows, Grays, and Evil Ways, which was a concept album. It wasn't nearly as kind of personal and maybe as autobiographical as this one. And there's obviously some pieces of me in that one, and even this one I thought was this fantastic story that I was just creating, and that there's so much of it is obviously my thoughts and my life and my silly twisted adventures,
The mob moves on and out.
It didn't occur to me like the whole kind of how sonically it's so different. And I really expanded and kind of threw all genre and all kind of shackles away, and was like, okay, let's make a headphones album. Let's make something that every song bleeds into the next, and have this arc of sound as well as story. And we also recorded in order, and I didn't even have that many songs. I only had like 3 songs finished going into it. I had like bones and like little pieces of songs and a chorus here, and I kind of knew where to do it, but I did have this whole arc of the concept in my head that I knew where I wanted to take it. And it kind of unfolded as we were going on, and I was writing as we were going on, and we recorded in order, which helped kind of me tell the story and be like, okay, I'm in this season now, I'm in this headspace now. But yeah, I've always thought about concept albums, and sometimes it maybe because I was so fairly unprepared that I was focused on it and this singular story of this kind of anti-hero, in the arc of this year. But a lot of the time I'll start writing a concept, and there's confines to a concept album. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, this song came out of nowhere, and this has nothing to do with this. But this one I was a little more focused, I think, on telling the story. But even, I mean, there's some that are a little looser that I jammed in there.
Yeah.
With the winter comes the change.
When you bring some of these songs then to life, is that then weird for you as an artist who've created this? You said it, interwoven songs. It's one journey, the whole album. Is it then weird that you have to pick and choose some of these stories, and that the way that they're told on a stage are quite different as an experience, because you'll mix them with other songs as well? Is that a weird experience?
I don't know yet, honestly, because we haven't done it yet. We're gonna play. I think we have this little festival we're playing on Saturday. Yeah. That we're gonna play one of the songs that we haven't played any of them. So we're gonna have to really figure out how to do that. And I don't know if maybe we'll do it. I don't know. I'm bouncing around a couple ideas of how to really pull it off. Is to maybe do them in like little acts. So you might do 3 songs in a row, or do, different little sections of the album, or, and I mean, I think they still stand up as individual songs regardless, and they don't have to be part of this grander story. That they still have, their own little life in them as well. So I don't think it'll be that strange. And how to pull them off, though, too, as a trio, is going to be interesting as well. And, thought about, but not very long, thought about the idea of bringing another musician in. And, but we're not going to do that. Christopher Hoffey, who's the bass player, keyboard player, and now he's playing this for this next album. He kind of not invented it. I don't even know what it is. It's like a bass and guitar, and he plays it at the same time. And so he'll split the signal. Half of it goes to a bass rig, and then it goes to an electric guitar rig where he has all these pedals, so he can get all these sonic things out of it. But yeah, it remains to be seen. We're actually gonna rehearse a couple times before we actually get out on the road, which is which we've never done. So
it's my sins and my crime.
You come across always in interviews and on stage as a very happy guy and a relaxed guy, but in the lyrics, when I listen to the music, I'm not sure if you're okay. So are you okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, no, I don't know how I definitely if you met me, you wouldn't think that I would write all these dark songs and these dark stories. And but yeah, I mean, I get dark. I go dark sometimes, and I'm not always as charming as I normally, sometimes I go up and down just like anybody. And with this album, I wanted to do the whole idea of it being a calendar year and like being how the seasons affect you and how light and darkness affect you and then tried to piece this story together and put a love story in it and have it blossom in the spring and then kind of start fall apart in the fall.
I come on up from underground. Maybe this time I will find my one and only.
One of the things that you mentioned, I wanted to get rid of the shackles of certain expectations and genres. And, traditionally, especially to an international audience, you've been introduced as a country guy or dark country guy. You've never had a lot of, let's say, alignment with the whole, my pickup truck ran off with my horse, but I still love the girls in the bar where we salute the stars and stripes kind of country that we hear a lot. On this album, more than ever, it feels that you've been highly inspired by Leonard Cohen, Nick Cave, and especially in a song like Love Will Never Come. You feel like Nick Cave. I know that some people have called like Tom Waits a little bit more as well. Is that a fair statement that you don't want to be considered part of a defined genre of country and Western or what have you?
I always thought it was silly that they put me in that country. I don't sing about trucks and fucking consoles or solo cups and like, I sing about things that I think are real and honest and things that move people and hit people in the heart, and in the head. And it's like not, that's so formulaic. It just seems so boring to me. It's like the same thing. Didn't we already do that? Didn't somebody already do that? I did consciously want to remove all genre and the idea that you have to be this or people's expectations of you is this thing. And I know there'll be some backlash. I'm sure if I looked at the comments, there'd be 10% of the people going like, whoa, man, I liked when you were just acoustic guitar and vocal. It's like, I can't do that forever. Like, can I grow as an artist and expand, and this one, I really want to do it sonically, it's still me singing. It's still that I'm still trying to do the same thing with songs. It's like, I want to move people. I want you to think about something. I want to take you on this journey. But then sonically, I also got a keyboard, like a synthesizer during COVID, and I just started writing and playing that, which I don't know how to do really. I could, twist it, but it opened up melodies, it opened up different ways, and part of, I mean, I don't think of guitar. Like guitar to me is like shapes. It's not even
Right.
like it doesn't have this musicality that some people pick up a guitar and they're like, they know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm just
Yeah.
writing for the song, and it's kind of just this vehicle that I use. And then when I switched over to the keyboard and started writing, be like, oh, let me write something with the trombone, and then I'll do that, and then or with the violin or with a organ sound that's all distorted or something that just opened me up to other possibilities, other melodies that I wouldn't have found on a guitar.
Well, I ducked into the night, but I chose 2 seats to my right. His red eyes.
In this whole process of like trying new things, is there one thing that really surprised you, like about yourself in this journey? Like, did you figure out things about your own artistry that you never experienced before?
I mean, it was a conscious thing. It was definitely a conscious thing to try to abandon all that. And, but in my past, like, when I did my first albums, it was, that label was always like, that your acoustic guitar and your vocal, that's the sound,
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to kind of get away from that a little bit, but we did a very organic, rootsy album when we did On the Widow's Walk, which was basically a live recordings mostly. But still super organic and just bass, drums, guitar, and piano this time. And there was a little more featured with piano. And then this time I just wanted to abandon all that and just be like, let's headphones album. Let's make something that's sonically lush and have twists and turns and have every song spill into the next song and have it be this whole sonic journey too that I hadn't explored before. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that I could do anything. And I've never been genre oriented anyways. I'm kind of surprised that I get lumped into this country or Americana thing, which genres or whatever, people have to do that, I think, but it'd be even harder to define now, after this one.
For sure.
But yeah,
for sure.
I learned that really anything's possible, and why put any boundaries around what you can do.
He collapses at the jukebox, praying hands upon.
One of the elements for me that kind of describes a White Buffalo show is even songs that are intimate and just acoustic on record become a lot more energized and powerful on stage. And my wife will tell me still, who is very excited about new music coming out, she can never get enough of how you, for example, bring, I know it's a cover, but Highwaymen live, where when you go again and again and again, that power builds. Given that some of your songs, looking a little bit, in your back catalog, have evolved live to some extent, is there ever a desire for you to put out a new live collection of recording some shows on this tour live and seeing how these songs have changed over the years?
Yeah, I think we're going to record wanting to put kind of a video out or a movie or something that's that we record a live show. That we've never really done that,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the power and kind of ferocity and emotions that we all bring to performance and to the songs, and how they do change, they're and they really change very organically. It's just like we don't rehearse as a band, and so we're working them out as we go, and things change, and something will happen one night and we're like, oh, that was cool, and then maybe you do it again, maybe you don't, but yeah, definitely we will do something that's more of a live album thing at some point, because I think we've never done that, and I think it's something that we do that I think we bring it. Recording's hard, and it's always hard to capture always wanted to capture that, that idea that, oh, just sound what we sound like, and it's like, that would be good. But I think they're different things. And this one, obviously, there's so many bells and whistles and so much ear candy on this one that it's impossible to really do it exactly like the album is. But we'll do it some way that's cool, and it will evolve into something, hopefully emotional and magical,
There's a blackbird perched outside my window.
Worldwide, a lot of people were introduced to your music through a certain TV show that I'm sure you're bored of answering questions about. But I know
that was a gift, that was such a gift to get so many songs in Sons of Anarchy. And it was, I'll never look at that. Some people are like, oh, I want to abandon that. We used to not even play Come Join the Murder.
Exactly.
We didn't play it for like a year or 2 years. And then I remember doing an interview, and the guy's like, why? They're like, Come Join the Murder. Like, that's your biggest hit or whatever. And I didn't. And that was a collaborative thing where I didn't write the lyrics.
Right. Yeah.
Kurt, yeah. And some guy in an interview was like, what, he's like, what? I was like, yeah, we don't even play that song. I was like, I just don't feel that connected to it. I didn't write the words. I wrote the melody and the music with another gentleman, with Bob Thiel, who was the music supervisor. But and he's like, well, that's kind of selfish. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right, isn't it? Because people want to hear it, And so then I was like, okay. So that night we went out and we started playing it, and now we play it all the time. But it's it's I don't know if it was my own ego or my own whatever. And it never occurred to me that, people, I can attach to it. I can connect with it. It's still part of my catalog and part of me, All that day he lied to me, like very clean.
With you have quite a distinctive voice and sound, and I'm sure that a lot of people would love to collaborate with you. Is that something that you've kind of stay away from, or are you more open to that now than, for example, 5-6 years ago?
I'm not good at working with people like that. And I just I love the idea that it's such a rarity these days that things are coming from a singular mind,
right?
Granted, when you get in the studio, there's a lot of people have a lot of ideas, and people are trying, experimenting, especially with this album. That Jay Joyce, the producer, was hugely integral in creating this sonic palette, And but as far as lyrics and writing, my process is so my own. And I've tried to get in rooms and write with people, and it just doesn't really work. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that I'm not open to it. It'd have to be somebody, maybe an artist that I respect or something like that. But to get in a room with somebody and a lot of the time they're just, I don't understand how to write songs like kind of the corporate machine writes songs. Whatever comes out spills out, and then I decide where to take the story, and what the cool part is it just comes out as gibberish where I don't really even feel involved in it, that it's just something comes in and I'm just the vessel that's letting these things come in, and I sing something, and then you come up with this kind of pure, honest melody, and then I'll say a couple things, I'll be like, oh, okay, then that's the little springboard, and then I expand on that and then craft it from that. Which is such a personal thing, and to bring somebody else in, I don't know how I would do it.
So now curse and ravens fire. Oh, you made me hate.
There's no outside entity. There's no, I've been lucky in my career also to be able to do that throughout my entire career of just writing how I write and creating what I create, and allowed to have that freedom to do so. And I think that's partially why I've also been able to sustain, hopefully, writing good songs and still hitting people emotionally, that I've never had the one, also the idea of chasing something, chasing fame, chasing a hit, chasing anything that's kind of for the wrong reasons. Like I'm always in it for the emotions, for the song, and to try to touch people. And the idea of my concept of songwriting is to write some personal stories, or write stories that people can attach to their own lives. And so you're not, if they're moving me, hopefully they're moving other people. And when they can attach it to their lives, and it reminds them of something, or it helps them through something hard, or that's always been important to me. And yeah, this album's probably a little more, I always think they're just these fantasy stories that I'm writing, and then I go back and listen, I'm like, oh my God, this is 100% about me and how I mean, I think it's impossible to detach yourself completely to things. But when I'm writing a murder song, or I'm writing something that other things that I explore in the past, it's less personal. And this was, this is about life, a year, and love, and confusion, and mental health, and
well, it makes people relate.
Oh, you made me hate.
We know that, we now know from this conversation that there's a good chance that you'll play Come Join the Murder, and that we might expect to see a segment of the show with new songs interwoven in a special way that a power trio brings them to life. Apart from those elements, on all these shows that have been announced that you're going to start playing now, to wrap this up, what should your audience expect when they come to your show?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play the new songs. I mean, I think it's going to be fun, and I'm excited to see what kind of life they take on in a live setting, especially with the three of us. I mean, we kind of have to pick and choose some of the sounds that are important, I think, but they'll come across, I think, and the reality is, I think the songs are good, and so it doesn't really matter what form you play them, and if the song is there and the bones of the song are there, that it's hard to fuck it up, but that being said, we're gonna have to figure out, it's gonna be an exploration of what we can do. I always want to have live shows have this emotional arc, that there's moments where you want to fight, and there's moments that you want to cry, and I want to take you on this little roller coaster and feel your feelings. I mean, it's like I don't get hit like that very often when I go and I listen to other people, and I always try to do that and just keep it pure and keep it honest, and have fun. And it's great to love your band and enjoy playing and enjoy being around the people that you're playing with, because I think people can really feel that.
Absolutely. Well, Jake, I want to thank you so much for your time today and answering some of my questions. I really appreciate it. I know that you are extremely busy on a schedule right now preparing for those shows, and I'm very excited as a fan as well to see these shows come to life. Thank you so much for your time. I'm very excited about the new album, and I wish you all the best in this release cycle.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it, and subscribe to the channel.